Facebook.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We're live on 102.5 FM, Ramadan special, Eva FM, with my partner in crime, Riaz Khan, and we've got another partner in crime now.
I'm not crime.
Good
Partner in grime.
Brother Dawood Garcia. Yeah? Okay, so tonight we're going to have our topic's going to be racism in the Muslim community. Do you think it exists?
Dun, dun, dun.
No.
Now, of course, it don't exist.
My question to you then, because obviously I don't know that. Why is there racism within the Indian cultures?
Shall I tell you?
Okay, you go first, yes.
It stems from the caste system when the Aryan race invaded India in the year 2000
What's
BC.
Aryan?
The Aryan race.
Is that white people?
Yeah. They invaded India in the year 2000 BC.
Oh, where
right?
have you got
Wait.
that from?
Just wait. I did history. Let's be quiet for a second.
Okay, go on then. I believe you.
Let me finish. You always butt in.
Yeah, go on.
God, man, it kills me. Anyway, so basically the Aryan race invaded, and the only people that fought against was Dravidians, who are predominantly black. They fought against the Aryan race. The Aryan race annihilated them, and because of their what's the word I'm trying to use now? Because of their rebellion, they put its caste in. The whiter you were, the higher up the caste system you were. So the Brahmins were quite white in their features, and the Dravidians were black, and they were not even on the caste system. They were called the untouchables. Dun, dun, dun.
Please give me your version because he went really far on that.
Okay,
No,
I
that's how it
Hold
is.
on.
Yeah, I can. I was going to relate to you. I wasn't going to go in the in-depth Aryan bit, yeah. Aryan, yeah. So definitely, there's because the Indians came from the Hindu culture. They most of them were Hindus before. It was and a lot of our culture, the Muslim Indians, come from Hindu culture.
Yep.
So like Brother Riaz was saying, we've had that kind of within us, and we've kept within our own castes. So, for example, just the Gujaratis, we have the main Surti and the Baruchi, yeah? So even within these two groups, they've kind of, for a long time, just stayed within their own groups. They've kind of married within their own groups. And like you said, it's that caste kind of system that's been indoctrinated subliminally, if you want to call it.
Does it happen in the Arabs?
Yeah, they do.
So then what's their excuse then?
They've always had hierarchy within themselves as well.
Tribal stuff.
Yeah, tribal system. So even prior to Islam, there were certain tribes which were more nobler than other tribes. And that's kind of still, even to this day, certain tribes in Saudi Arabia are known to be more powerful and more influential. And that's just carried on as well, unfortunately. Even.
But is that to do with colour?
Not colour necessarily. Certain tribes... not the colour necessarily, just the nobleness of the tribe.
With the Indians, it was to do with colour. With the Arabs, it's something different. I don't know what to do if it's colour or maybe just like say prestige.
Yeah. So we want to hear any texts as well. I'll just give the line out and the number if anybody wants to ring in as well. 0116 212 9324, or you can text in 07450 925 084. Brother Dawood, as you come from you're half Bengali. You're half Spanish, okay?
Start that.
How did you feel when you entered Islam? How did you feel? Did you feel any kind of racism within the Muslim community?
I've never been accepted full stop by anyone. I don't really care though. I don't care.
What about from your Bengali side? have you felt
Be
racism?
honest.
You want to know about racism? Do you know what? Because if anyone's listening, they'll get peed off.
Don't say any names, just say
Just
what's
don't say
that.
the name.
Just be
say
frank.
your
Okay, so
experiences.
I remember one time I had a friend named Roy, and I remember a black lad. And
Challenger.
Bro, without saying names, come on, bro. Yeah. And a lot of them were upset that I'm hanging around with a black guy. But it's always been that way, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're quite.
You know, alhamdulillah, my
I've got to be
parents were
careful
like
how
that.
I say things because it's like I don't want to make everyone sound wrong because not everyone's the same. You know what I mean?
Alhamdulillah, my parents were like that. Never. We used to have black people come around the house, white people come around the house. We're never like that.
Are you telling me your mum's not racist?
She's not. She'll say things, but she's not racist. Trust me, she's not.
Well, I'm messing with you. I don't know. Do you know what it is? But it's hard. Like, it's like you're constantly trying to be accepted. Because when I think of my mum, I think she's always trying to do everyone, and I just think,
What do you mean, please everybody?
yeah, it's a bit of a, oh God. But yeah, it's a bit of a, I don't know, now I don't care. I used to though. I used to care quite a lot.
I think when you get older, you get more thingy, don't you? More
I
time.
I don't care if I'm accepted by anyone now. I don't care what people think of me anymore. I don't care about none of it. That's why I'm a bit harsh sometimes. People think I don't mind. I'm cool with it.
If you go into the demographics of UK, majority of the communities, the largest, I think, Muslim community is the Pakistani community, yeah?
I don't know.
I think they are. Thereafter, it's maybe the Gujaratis, I think.
Probably, yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Which are the oones from Africa?
Because Asians can be from
Kutchis and
Africa as
Memons.
well. Yeah.
Is that what that is? The African
Yeah,
ones?
yeah.
Okay.
Probably, yeah.
So I've noticed traveling down through some of the cities where the majority, the main probably community masjid was founded by Pakistani nationals. And because of the war that happened between East and West Pakistan, so I think certain elements of that is still inside both communities. So what I've noticed is you've got a masjid which was originally founded by the Pakistani community. There'll always be another masjid from a Bengali community.
Yeah, but
In
Sutherland
the same-
Street. So
Yeah, yeah.
I was Sutherland Street
Yeah.
when I was 7 years old.
Same here.
That was the first mosque in
So
Leicester.
no, there wasn't. There was a house on Connaught Street. Trust me. I
Oh,
know.
prior to that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, as a,
Yeah,
a purpose,
yeah.
but well,
That's right. Yeah. It was a dance
masjid.
school originally, and then they bought it off them because I lived on Sutherland Street.
Yeah.
And when I look and think back now, there was no such thing then as your. It was like everyone prayed. Like it didn't matter where you was from, what culture. It didn't matter. Nothing like that.
Yeah, that always happens in the beginning when the community is really small. Everybody just comes to that masjid.
Comes
because-
together,
Yeah,
yeah.
it comes together because the community is small.
I
So
think in time, everyone. Why does everyone want their own? Why does everyone want their
Power.
own thing?
Power.
Tribalism, isn't it?
It's power as well.
I know our prophets are some like kind of mentioned on that stuff like that, right?
yeah.
Nationalism.
Yeah, he knew that he prayed for unity, but this is one of the du'as that wasn't accepted by Allah, that the ummah won't be united. There's going to be differences. So there's other
I didn't know
aspects.
it was a. I didn't know it was a
Okay, so yeah, we need to give a shout out. We're on Ramadan special on EVA 102.5 FM. Okay, so one of it is on religious jurisprudence differences, and the other difference I'm talking about, what we're interested in, is on the racial difference. Just because they're predominantly Pakistani and they're going to speak in Urdu, we want another mosque and we want to talk in Bengali, whereas everybody here speaks English
because
now.
they wanted me to learn
Urdu.
Urdu
Yeah.
when I was
Sutherland
young.
Street.
Yeah, that was most
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
mosques.
yeah.
Most of the mosques, that's what they expected us to learn because the bayans were in Urdu.
It's the next generation now.
Obviously
Everything should be in
now
English now.
things have changed.
Now, what really?
I think so now because that's what most people want to learn now because everybody speaks in English now. There's reverts coming to the masjid. There's people that can't even speak Urdu coming to the masjid. So I think all the language, all the bayan should be in English now anyway. It's a universal language. Most of the people in this
To be
country
fair,
speak English.
I've seen a lot of, well, I don't know a lot of masjids, but I know most of the big masjids are doing their bayans in English now.
Yeah,
So Academy do it,
Some
Omar
do it in English.
obviously Mudni do it.
I think they chop and change, don't they?
Some of the mosques they alternate.
Some of them must do it in
yeah.
Arabic, and I'm sitting there thinking, what's he talking
Do you
about?
think, going off, do you think that like black people are seen different within masjids and stuff? Because I've never seen a black imam.
Haven't you? Conflaction Street,
No, that's
Masjid
now.
Rahman.
That's now, but he's the only one that I know of.
There's Somali masjids that got imams.
Do you think that
Are
they're
you talking about Afro-Caribbeans?
black people in general, bruv? Do you think that they're frowned upon at all?
No, because
You've never seen it?
well, maybe I don't.
I've
Look,
seen it.
The masjids I go to,
Yeah.
you got imams, khatibs that come in there from the Afro-Caribbean community. Like,
Because I know for a fact they believe that there's a problem out there for them. Because I've listened to them
maybe,
talk.
yeah.
I've actually listened to it.
Abu
and tried to-
Osama, he's come done a few talks there. You go to Beaumont Lee's, I think they've got a black imam there as well in the masjid.
Yeah, they're predominantly from the Tanzanian community, the Somali community.
But
Yeah.
they feel,
We're
what
still
I'm saying,
black,
it doesn't matter about the Imam part. What I'm saying is, from what they said to me, they feel outcasted
Maybe, yeah,
by Asians
probably.
within mosques and within stuff like that. And I was like, oh, okay.
They may, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you're
there
right.
is that element because you got to remember in the 80s and the 90s, the Asian community were troubled by the black community here. Obviously not all of them, but the younger generation were.
There was one
So
black brother, an Afro-Caribbean brother. I know. His name was Dawood, not you. And he used to go into the he used to go into the mosque. And he said for 10 years only 3 people gave him salam. for 10
What are you
years.
talking about? I've had it in front of me a few weeks. Not a couple
No,
of
no,
months
not. I'm
ago.
talking about you. I'm talking about another person.
No.
Forget you. It's
We're
not.
not on
It's
about
not
you.
about you.
Bro,
Listen, let me
stop,
finish.
stop.
Let me finish. So he was there for
Fine.
10 years, right? Wait. Let me
Honestly.
finish. 10 years. In the 10 years, bro. In the masjid, only 3 people gave him salam.
I was with Henry's brother.
Martin, yeah. So I remember you telling me this.
Outside the mosque, and everyone came up to me, gave me salams, and everyone bypassed him. I had to physically say, brother, shake this man's hand, and he didn't know what to say because he's quite a humble guy.
Yeah, he is, yes.
And I made
Lovely
every
guy.
single person shake his hand, and so you can see it there and then.
One thing I think what our mosque can do is, for example, the Islamic tradition has been alive longer than what has been alive in India, you could say, from countries like Nigeria,
Yep.
Senegal, Mali, Timbuktu, Mauritania. Some great scholars
came
have
out
come
of
from
there,
there. Especially, I've heard a lot from Mauritania due to Sheikh Hamza Yusuf. His teachers, one of his teachers just passed away not too long ago. And the amount of scholarly level of people who are there is just amazing. We've not been exposed to that side of the world, of them scholars.
It's subcontinent, ain't it, for us?
Yeah, coming to us. It would break that racial barrier. Look, seeing this black sheikh coming onto the minbar and talking, and most of them know Arabic, and I'm sure they can be translated.
Do you think it's racism or that we've just lost all unity full stop? Do you see where I'm going?
I can see where you're going. What it is, like I said before, we have our differences, and what's happened is, because of these differences, we've not. For example, you just go in St. Matthew's. We've got just in that small circle, you've got 3 mosques. Four, yeah? You got Masjid al-Quba, you got Uthaymeen, you got what's the other one? King
Britannia.
Yeah, Masjid Huda.
And you've got the one right, where behind the shops, there's a little one there.
There's another one, and there's an Asian one as well, opened
one
by
up the
the Indians.
stairs.
Yeah, so you've got about 4 or 5 masjids. This just in that 10-minute walk.
Are they needed or?
No, they had differences, and they've just opened one up, kind of
Divide and rule.
Yeah, so
So it goes straight back to the sermon.
yeah, it basically is just some differences they had in some jurisprudence.
Yeah, but what makes me laugh is when famous people like Napoleon come or Loom come, their mushes are packed. And Napoleon and Loom, rappers,
They're ex-rappers who became Muslim.
American rappers.
Goes on my head, mate.
Yeah.
One of them used to rap with Tupac, wasn't it? I think Tupac and P Diddy, whatever his name was, P Daddy, or whatever you call it. And the mushes are packed full of people, and they're black. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
So I don't know what's going on. I think it's the older generation, not so much the younger generation.
We need to see more
It's the
scholars
older
with different
generation.
ethnicities, going around, and I think we
Not
need to
so
become
much
more
that,
broad-minded.
Not so much maybe that, but talk about different. Okay, Moses. I think was it you I was having this discussion
Musa
with?
Islam, yeah.
Tell me what colour Moses was.
There's difference of opinion with Isa alayhi salam and also Musa alayhi salam.
So
Some
I was-
scholars I even say that Isa alayhi salam was very dark.
I heard this as well.
Yeah,
I've not heard that one.
he was very dark. He wasn't black, but he was dark.
So I heard Moses was from the blackest tribe of Africa.
There's all the masjids in St. Matthew's. Oh my
Okay.
days, it's more than
Who's
4 or
just done
5.
that?
We've got our producer. Our producer's just showing us how many mosques
too
there are.
good, that boy, isn't he?
Yeah. Oh yeah, and we've got Faisal and Martina, that huge. I think he used to be a mental institute or something.
Yeah,
Yeah. So you got
that's the
Faisal and
one
Martina.
behind it. Yeah.
You got
Anyway,
Muslims.
go back.
Yeah.
Moses.
Yeah,
I heard Moses was from the blackest tribe in Africa. Is that true? Or do you know about that?
I don't know whether if he came from an African tribe, but he was from the Bani Israel originally, meaning from the family of Yaqub alayhi salam.
But then,
So-
are you talking like the 12, 13 tribes?
Yeah, so then
Well, some of them were like dark black.
Yeah.
whether they became...
But that's never told to anyone. Things like that are never really...
Wonder
not that
why.
it matters, but ain't that weird? And I find that weird.
Yeah, because I heard a scholar recently saying even Isa alayhi salam in certain narrations that he was very dark.
Yeah.
So
I
obviously
heard this
we
as
never, like you said, it doesn't really matter whether it was dark or white or whatever. But the
That
fact
shouldn't really
But-
come into it.
no,
should
but
it?
to
in
today
today's society,
and in what we're talking about, it actually has become like for me. My view is different to your lot's because I'm a mixture of just about everything on that. I'm like the rainbow, whereas you lot are all what you know. It's I see the racism stepping back and looking at everyone. I see the tribalism. I see all of it, bruv. You know, I actually see it. Whereas you don't. You're quite happy within yourselves. You belong to something.
Not really. Not really. You belong to aliens, but if you can ring in, right, 0116 212 9324. We'd like to hear your opinions on 0116 212 9324, or you can text it on 07450 925 084.
So prior to Islam, there was loads of racism in Arabia. There were rife in the slave trade.
Are we talking Egyptian, like pharaohs and stuff?
No, I'm talking present-day Saudi Arabia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But it still is.
Still is.
God,
Yeah,
I've
it
seen
is.
the way
I've
they
worked
treat.
there.
When I went there and I saw the way they treated the Bangladeshis,
Yeah.
I was
It's terrible.
taken back.
Terrible.
Like it actually got me angry, and not because they were Bangladeshi, just for the fact that they were treating humans in that way.
Yeah, it's
Listen,
become.
I worked there for 8 months. I saw it with my own eyes. I got every day I was getting vexed. My mate said to me, "What are you doing? Why are you getting angry with them
But not
every
saying
single day?"
anything.
Yeah,
Not
no,
normal.
I was saying something. Be quiet. Let me finish. Don't button that. It's very rude of you.
You do
Let me
it all
finish.
the time. Go on.
Chop. Right. Basically, I was getting angry with all the people that I could see racism happening. And my mate told me after a couple of weeks of me getting vexed every single day, he goes, "Brother, why are you getting angry for? They're not going to change." And I thought, you know what? You're right. And I stopped doing it. Because it was doing my head in. I couldn't handle it. It was rude to the Bengalis, the Indians, the blacks, the Pakistanis. They're blatantly rude when you're in hairdressers, when you're in a taxi, when you're just in a restaurant. Muhammad Man been very harsh with them. I used to do my head in. But
Yeah, they have the kafil system where the workers that come over, you can hand over your passport. They control your life.
The what
Yeah,
system
prisoners.
call it again?
They call it the kafil system, if I can remember right.
it's the karma, isn't it? When you have the karma.
So you have like your owner. He's your owner. He controls you. He
So they've
controls
gone
when you leave the
backwards, haven't they?
country.
They've gone backwards in
Absolutely.
Islam, right?
So it just become a modern day slavery in one sense. That
So, like, you know, back in the day when I was studying the Sirah,
yeah.
and it was Abu Bakr, right? Was a slave. Not Abu
No,
Bakr.
Bilal, yeah.
Bilal was a slave. And they were trying to free. So it's gone backwards to them.
Yeah, it has.
So it's just kind of
Kafala system.
It's crazy, isn't it?
It's called the kafala system.
oh, that's what it is.
Well,
Kafala
this guy's
system.
too good.
That's it. The
This
kafala
guy's
system.
the lick, isn't he?
Our producers on the ball today, mashallah.
Yeah, so they've basically you sponsor, you get sponsored, they control you. Yeah, they decide when you can leave the country
Yeah.
or not leave the country.
My passport was in a safety deposit box and they gave me an iqama. I could not leave the country until they gave me the permission to leave the country.
I heard you were deported.
Yeah, so that was kind of within their traditions. You get me? So you even see it today. If you go to Saudi now, the kind of the rich Arab guys, they'll have these black kind of servants with them, and
Indonesian or Filipinos.
oh,
man.
yeah, I even see some black ones as well. So
So when we say racism, are we saying like tribalism as well? Is it hand in hand?
I think racism is mostly to do with colour, isn't it? Colour of someone's skin or
I don't know. I'm asking you.
yeah, tribalism to an extent, but really, obviously, it's the skin.
Are
think
we
tribalism or
talking
bigotry.
when we say racism?
Yeah, we're
are we
talking more
talking
skin.
solely skin?
Solely skin, and yeah, we can say
we can't talk about social status. That's different. That's
No,
social.
no.
That's social class. We're talking about colour of the skin, racism.
Well, like I say, certain masjids are open just because we come from a certain community.
Yeah, that's what I was about to go
Yeah.
on to that one.
Okay, Arif Jedsi, yes, bruv. In the UK, I guess the prejudice go back to the fact that South Asians immigrated here, set up masjids, and then to have other communities to have an influence in the mosque communities, etc., was near enough impossible for them to break into. Well, I didn't quite get
Yeah,
that.
I can see where he's
You're
coming
meant to be a
from.
teacher, but how are you
No, no.
reading it like that?
What?
Read it again.
I just read it. I read it how it is. Don't wink at him.
Yeah, so they see, look, they've set up these mosques. They've founded these mosques.
Yeah.
How can people from another community, another background, just come
Just
up
take over
and
it.
take over?
That's what he's saying.
That's
yeah.
another point. That's another issue we can discuss another time. Why are these committees run where if that guy, the president dies, his son takes over, and he has
No knowledge.
credentials or credibility to run a masjid.
Yeah.
Certain masjids are running like this. So that's another topic anyway.
I think some of our conversations definitely from years ago upset a lot of imams and a lot of mosques.
Yeah, we're keeping it real.
Okay,
Keeping it real.
okay, I don't
No,
mind.
but this is the point. Why is that? You know, they should it should operate like a football club. The football club looks for the They don't care whether they're black, white,
Yeah.
red. Yeah,
Long as
they
you
want,
can do
they
the
want
job.
results.
Yeah, as long as you can do the
And the
job.
How you
manager,
not letting me stand here with my hair like that, though? Oh my days.
yeah, and the manager doesn't matter where he's from. He needs to produce results. So every masjid should be operating like this. So the committee should be the best hand-picked people who know how this masjid could be utilized and influenced, and the community can benefit
from
yeah.
it. Yes,
Well, a lot
absolutely.
of it's been taken away from the imams, though, isn't it?
Certain masjids that
I've had a
imams
convo with a
have-
couple of imams, and
yeah.
I'm like, I don't get why what's the word I'm going to use? They don't have the knowledge of Islam, like, to a certain level.
They're probably business people.
Yeah, but they dictate to the imam.
Yeah.
Yeah, certain masjids, unfortunately, they're run by the committees. Very few masjids are run by the imams itself.
See,
So-
that's just mental in
So
itself, isn't it?
that's another topic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go back to racism.
Yeah, back to racism. That's another
What
topic.
is
So-
going on with my hair?
I don't know what's going on in your hair.
So yeah, if you go to Blackburn, I don't know if you guys been to Blackburn. Yeah,
dump.
It's a dump. You don't really
it's
want
a
to go
dump.
there anyway. Yeah.
It's got some nice things in it.
Like what, chapatis?
I've got a show there in a couple of weeks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Blackburn,
Enjoy it.
they have a system where they have this membership system. So in the masjid, the community of that area, it predominantly might be certain area of, I don't know, Gujarat. They all contribute £15 a month, whatever, towards that mosque. Yeah, that's how they run the masjid. So, and for example, a person from another community wants to come. For example, a Pakistani guy who lives just opposite the masjid, he can't come inside the madrasa because he's not a member of that masjid.
Get
What?
out.
Yeah. Wallahi.
Sure.
This is
Not having that.
You think I'm joking? Ask anybody who lives in Blackburn.
Oh, put your earphones on.
Oh, have we got a call coming in? All right. Okay.
Cool.
let's
Get
see.
your headphones on then, bro.
Oh, is that true? Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Assalamualaikum.
Wa alaikum. What's your name, brother?
It's Jedzi.
Oh, brother Jesse. Yes, go on. Go on.
How are you?
Go ahead.
Okay.
He's not happy with
Bro.
He's from
Texas, is he?
Blackburn. I'm sure he's from
Are you
Blackburn.
from Blackburn originally?
No,
Oh.
Bolton.
No, he's Bolton.
Oh, yeah,
Bolton.
Bolton, that's
Yeah,
right.
they're similar. Blackburn, I think Bolton, around these areas, they have a similar.
Down the road, basically.
Bro.
All right, bro. What's your point?
No, I was just saying, like, more about, like, obviously racism and prejudices that we've had. Like, I can just speak from, like, the Asian community, like, growing up, like, maybe our parents' generations, the grandparents' generations, they were very racist to a certain extent. Like, I remember, like, it was basically, like, even against black people, like, for example, or, you know, be careful, it's a black person, or they'll rob you and stuff like that. And that's obviously that generation there. But as obviously we've grown up and there's more integration and, you know, more understanding, and obviously like the English language, obviously we speak it as we grow up, whereas maybe the older generation that speak English and they integrate, obviously then prejudices and barriers have been broken down. To a point like where the youth now, as they're growing up and they obviously everyone's mixing and, you know, they get to know each other, I think the barriers have come down a lot more than possibly where they were like 20 years ago, 30 years ago.
Yeah, mashallah. Yeah, it's good, good
You
point.
switched off then, you know. He's talking. He switched off for a second.
No.
He
I was
did,
listening.
trust me.
I was listening.
Jetty man's is blanking.
All right, we got a text here, yeah? Excellent discussion. As a Pakistani heritage woman, I grew up seeing internal racism where colour within Pakistanis was the focal point of being judged.
Yeah.
A show on a popular Pakistani channel was vehemently wrapped because of their portrayal of a dark-skinned woman. Prejudice within own heritage is alive and kicking. Yeah, good point, sister.
Yeah.
Well, I'm still trying to say that word.
Also,
Say it again.
you know, even in certain black communities
Yeah.
as well, I think they actually have racism within. I mean, I think it's more like in Africa and certain countries.
It's probably tribal
Like,
more than
I don't
colour.
know if it's tribal areas, but it might be. But you know what? Like, I mean, you get like certain black people that bleach their skin as well.
You get that. You get that in Malaysia. They whiten their skin.
Wow.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
same thing, the whitening or the bleaching as well.
Yeah.
But like certain like lighter skin tone black people will look down on like really dark black people as well. Literally.
I remember at college when the Asian girls were there, and people say, "Oh, she's too dark. Forget her, she's ugly." And she was probably beautiful, really, really beautiful, but because she had dark skin, they deemed her as ugly.
What are you doing looking?
That's
I
all
was a kid, I
cultural.
was 16 years old.
Jazakallah, brother Jetsi.
Do you know what? It's just in everything. It's all of them. It's not like one group. It's there's racism in every single group of them in there.
Even white people are racist against each other, like against the Irish.
Yeah, someone was trying to tell me white people can't be racist. Like a full-on
They were
argument over
racist
someone. I was
against the
like,
Irish.
why not?
Some of them were against the Irish, against the Gypsies. You know what I mean? Against some Europeans like the Germans. You know. Jez, you still there?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, still there. Okay, what do you want to do?
He can
Cut you
afford
off?
his
He wants to
phone
cut you off, I think.
All right, well, you just got cut off.
All right, brothers, Jazakallah khairan for you.
Just catch you later. Assalamu alaikum.
All right.
Okay, Shamim Papa. Well, Salim Yusuf Logat says, wow, oh wow, wow. Imagine a transfer window in. We know if you have like a football system.
Yeah, look, here's one.
And Shamim Papa says, go on, you can answer that
yeah,
one.
I'm going to answer a little bit
Yeah,
of that
go on
one. So,
No.
one of the
Do
radios...
the question
Just
first.
read
Read the question.
I'll let
Can
you
you
not
read?
do that. I'm
Okay.
dyslexic, aren't I?
Listening to your discussion on, I'd like to ask the reason for having two different radio stations set up as we are one community.
I'll tell you the reason why
Go on
that
then.
is. One of them's a lot more Islamic oriented. It doesn't have discussions like this, to my understanding. They will just not have anything like this, whereas we speak more
Community based.
Yeah, but it's not like we're pro them. We're pro. You know,
Yeah,
it's
we,
like,
we even go on that.
They're not
yeah,
on
that's
anything.
right. That's right. It's not
Yeah,
like it's
Rivalry.
yeah. There's no rivalry.
Yeah.
And they're set up for throughout the whole year as well.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Like, but
That's why we've got two shows.
yeah, more or less.
Yeah. Hassan, nice one, bruv. Top shows, lads. Thank you very much. Ayvala. Oh, another one. Racism within heritage communities was discussed on Wednesday, and the terminology used was colorism. Oh,
Okay.
that's new, colorism.
All right. Okay.
I've never heard that before.
All right. But what,
Confused.com like me.
we want to know: is it still existent in our communities today?
Of course, it's
Obviously, come on.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely,
It's
of
not
course
about-
it is.
Do you know what I find weird though? It's not. I think I've heard Imam Sindi talk about it, but I've never really heard many other people talk about it.
Sheikh Zahid Mahmood has done a really good
I
talk on
don't
it.
even know who that is.
Oh, you got to listen to him. He's a top.
No, I'm on about in the mosque.
Okay.
Ramadan special on Eva 102.5 FM.
Sheikh Zahid Mahmood.
Do you think that's a problem? Is that we don't talk about it?
It's not much is talked about. I know that.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest things out there. Yeah, it's not spoken.
It's
about.
taboo, ain't it?
And he mentioned, look, he
Why
goes,
is it taboo?
he
I have
goes,
no idea, because they're trying to bury it under the carpet, don't they? We're not racist. No, we're not racist. They tried to. The Prophet Sallallahu last sermon was, no
Well,
black
you know
is
that's
superior
my
to
favourite.
of a white person.
You know,
No
Sheikh
Arab
Z-
is superior to a non-Arab. You know what I mean? Superiority over them.
Sheikh Zahid Mahmood, he mentioned a good point. He goes, look, you'll have masjids called Masjid al-Bilal. We've got one in Leicester as well. No,
Yeah.
no, we're not targeting you, by the way. He goes, do you think a black member would be allowed to be a committee member of Masjid al-Bilal? I'm talking the Masjid al-Bilals around UK, yeah? And that's a fair point.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
You get me?
You can't argue with
So-
that. Hassan Salman says, got a lot to say on these matters about meetings, so wait you... I won't say that word, but yes.
Yeah. So yeah, there is. We do have this racism within us, unfortunately.
Remember the final khutbah? I just mentioned that, Hassan.
Yeah,
That's my
Yeah.
favourite. My favourite one. Is that 2 minutes left? And
Go-
that's it. We're done.
yeah. We're
Yeah,
done
2
after
minutes
2
left.
minutes. Going back to Blackburn,
Yeah.
you know, so much.
You don't like Blackburn.
I
do
don't
you?
like Blackburn,
Okay.
but coming back, they live in like some next cocoon. When they came to Leicester, they never seen black people. Seriously, I'm not joking.
What?
They never
It's
seen.
not
There's
that
no.
bad.
No,
Come on.
No,
don't be
I'm
daft.
joking.
Never seen
I
black
am
people.
not
Go on
joking.
television and stuff
I
like
am
that.
not joking.
No.
I mean live. I'm talking live.
Live.
Bro,
You go to
bro,
Blackburn,
stop, listen.
and if you go, I'm not joking. You go to Oldley Range, Wally Range. If you see one
Wally Range.
Wally Range,
Wally
yeah,
Range.
that's
I thought it was in
that's
Manchester.
area.
Well,
Yeah.
I genuinely think your duck is a bit too tight. You've got issues.
No,
there.
no,
Come
no.
on, bro.
You need to go there. I don't think you've been to Blackburn. Yeah. So
I'm there next
Can't- that
in a
can't
couple
be
of
true.
weeks.
I'm not just. They are
Didn't
a
Blackburn
very,
have black players in their football team?
very minority of Somali community have moved there, but very few. But you would not come across. I'm not joking. I'm not.
Well, you know,
joking.
if I go there and I see it, you're.
Yeah, you might find the
Take
odd one in the
photographs.
city
But
centre.
don't change the story.
No,
now.
but go to the Muslim community area. If you come across one, subhanallah. If he's anything apart from
can't
Somali,
Well, I'm not having that.
bro, you guys need to go.
Because he has got
Bro.
a point. That's what I was saying.
What's Arif? No, he's from the other place.
He's from
He's
Bolton.
Bolton, just down the road. So he's
This
Well,
is- okay.
down the road is a
Wait,
complete different. And he can't see. He's 2 foot high.
Sahida Adams
he
says that is so true. Same for Dewsbury. Wow.
Yeah. You look at where have you lot been travelling?
Subhanallah.
You lot
Yeah,
need
but I've
to
been
go.
to Dewsbury in Batley. Actually, yeah, you're right. I didn't
I've
see
been
any
to
black people
Dewsbury.
there.
You
I
go
went
to
there with,
Blackburn.
I didn't see any black
Maybe-
people. I didn't see any black
What
people
was it? They
there.
do like a what do you call it there?
What these guys go to.
Oh, the Ijtima.
Ijtima,
Yeah,
yeah.
Dewsbury's there. Well, as a headquarters, that's another debate now.
The
But
Mulkers.
anyway.
See, I told you 30 minutes ain't long enough.
Another 10 minutes.
So yeah, so like I was saying, the guy opposite the road, if he's not a member of the masjid, he can't send his kids
That's
to that
ridiculous.
madrasa. And that
It's a
system
house of
still
Allah.
exists. And
It's a house of Allah.
it still exists.
You don't pay to go into a mosque. It's not a flipping nightclub.
What's
or
the
something.
solution?
the solution, they need to eradicate these membership fees.
No, not that. What's the answer?
Yeah,
As
the
young as-
answer
I'm on
is
about as a
not
whole
as-
racism.
whole.
How do you try and deal with it?
Intermarriages.
What?
Intermarriages. Marrying people from different cultures, different races.
Do you know one time, I'm going to tell you a story. I said to this, it was a Bangladeshi guy, and I said to him, "Brother, you want your daughters to get married?" He goes, "Of course, yes. I'm very happy." I said, "What if it was a black guy?" "What? I would kill them." And I was like, I had tears in my eyes laughing. You know, it's like...
Hey, this is a funny story. One of my mates is Bengali.
Yeah.
And he was dark.
Yeah, but we're not picking on the
Yeah,
Bengalis.
we're not
right?
speaking
Just to
about
make
the-
that
Stop picking
clear,
on
right?
Bengalis.
So
Bengali racist.
anyway, so one of my other mates, you might even know him, Gavin Francis. He goes to me, "You're darker than me." So my mate, who's Bengali, he was ashamed. He goes, "My dad's Winston." He lied. He goes, "My dad's called Winston."
Okay, we've got a few more comments. Jed says he isn't lying 12 miles away. I'd say someone in Preston too. Hassan says South Asia are amongst the most racist people around. True.
What's South Asian? Hold on, what's
Oh,
that?
it's like India, Pakistan, Bangladesh.
No, don't say us like then you.
You're Bengali.
I'm not, I'm Spanish.
I'm from Blackburn, married in Leicester. I used to teach in the evening madrasa. They have a membership system. If students are members, their fee is different. If they are not members, the fees are double. I didn't approve. We don't have a say. It's the committee. However, mosque is Allah's house. There shouldn't be a membership system. Absolutely.
Spot on.
I
I
said
told
the
you.
same
You lot
thing.
thought I was joking, yeah?
I can't believe it.
That still exists to this day.
Uprise,
Subhanallah.
uprise.
I'm telling you, they need the uprising in Blackburn.
Who runs? What?
Yeah,
Who runs it? Is
it's
it
these-
Pakistanis, Gujaratis, what?
Yeah, you got Gujarati mosques. Yeah,
No,
Gujarati.
is it good
Yeah,
drivers?
Gujaratis. This
So
is Gujarati.
right. So it's
Wow.
not just racism; it's
Subhanallah.
tribalism.
Tribalism.
Yeah.
So it's like what I say, because I say tribalism, racism, it's all under the same banner.
Blackburn is not only racist, but tribal segregation is quite prevalent. I agree with Ismail.
Yeah, yeah.
Also,
Oh, look, he's got his
Tilal.
own gangster kid.
I'm telling you this. We need to go to Blackburn. Have
I'm not going to go there if they're racist. Forget it.
I'd like to see it.
Tilal Manzoor says, I think things seem to have been going. I think things seem to having gotten more tribal. When I was growing up, my parents encouraged being friends with people regardless of colour, religion, or country of origin. Only at uni did I realise how divided the Asian community was and how prejudiced. Where's the rest of the message? See more. Yep. Prejudicial. They can be against anyone that isn't from their immediate community. Unfortunately, I do believe much of the Asian community, regardless of religion, are quite racist when it comes to non-Asians.
You're a teacher, bro. Right?
Yeah, but it
You're
says see more, so click on
I'm
it.
just saying, you're a teacher,
Yeah,
bro.
what am I supposed to? I'm supposed to read from there, and it's not clicked on see more.
Going back to my cousin from Blackburn, he was.
This guy needs to let this Blackburn thing
Listen,
go, bro.
I just want to tell you guys. Let
It's
them
got a
people
grudge
know.
against them. They won the Premiership not long ago. Is that what it
That was
is?
Years ago, yeah.
So he's still got a grudge
Listen,
against them.
he was like mesmerized when I told him, like, we got white friends, black friends, we got people from Hindu.
You haven't got
Sikh.
white friends.
So listen, so are you saying, right,
Yeah.
are the imams to blame? Not to blame, but for the lack of education within the mosques, for talking about it more. Because
Like I said,
they're who we look up to. When we go on YouTube, it's the imams we listen to, isn't it?
But unfortunately, like we were saying before, some of these masjids are run by the committee, and they've got this.
Going back to Blackburn, in Blackburn, if someone passes away and not a member of a mosque, things become very
Yeah,
complicated.
he can't get.
Bro,
he
could
can't
everyone
have
stop
his
hating
janaza.
on Blackburn? Man?
He can't have his body washed
That's
in that mosque.
so wrong.
Yeah, he won't have
That's
his body
so wrong.
washed. Yeah.
I just want to say I don't hate Blackburn, just for the record, because you don't.
Okay, Hassan Salman says majority of the elders in the community act like they're not prejudiced and are open to all, etc. But watch them change their tune when their son or daughter wants to marry outside their race or culture, like you just mentioned a minute ago, Dawood.
Well, that's me messed up, because I'm no one. I'm never getting married, but
Arif says the membership covers the running of the mosque for the year. Also, in Jummah collections, they don't get anywhere near the figures collected in Leicester mosques. I think majority of mosques here easily hit the £500 mark in Jummah collections. My local Bolton gets £150 to £200.
Anyway,
Okay.
so they need to get rid of this membership system.
I think the younger generation needs to take over.
Take over.
I'm not talking about us. We're not the younger
And
generation.
like I said, so the masjid will be run by a certain
about
community.
yourself.
So they represent a certain community from India, and you got mosques opposite.
So it's
each
a
other.
business, ain't it? Really, if you think about it.
so who's
They're
supposed
running
to
it
do
like
the-
a business.
Who's supposed to do the educating?
Well, it's meant to be the imam, but the imams are some
That's
of
what
these
I've just said to you.
They're these puppet imams. They're controlled by the committee.
They're not going to like hearing this, are they? They're going going to be. I just want it.
It's all about the green.
I'm not sticking. I'm not picking on
You know,
your
it's
mom,
all about the money. Okay. Assalamu alaikum. Just to let you know that my daughter was getting married this June to a black. Where's the rest of the message?
Click on it.
Where's it gone?
Oh, mate, you failed. You're doing so good as well.
The producer needs a good tapper. Okay,
All
getting
right,
married to a black Jamaican revert, mashallah, and I come from an Indian background. We should learn to integrate other cultures. We just need to read the last sermon by Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I said that to marry
My sister's
interfaith marriage, intercultural marriages.
A lovely lad. Don't get me wrong. He got a harsh interview from me. Like sat his ass
Yeah,
down.
no, that's fine.
But what a lovely, lovely guy
Yeah.
he is. You know, it's not the colour. To be fair though, I don't really look at colour. I just look at the person as a
Yeah,
whole.
if there's a good guy, he's a good guy.
Yeah, you know, it's like definitely. If he's good, he's good. If he's
Absolutely.
not, then exit
Out the
stage
door,
left.
yeah. Okay, we'd like to hear some of your comments. Got one here. We are so happy for them, and and all the family are happy for them.
Is
Mashallah.
that the whole message?
That's the
Producer
second
guy-
part.
This producer guy's losing it now, and he was
The
doing
second
so
part.
well.
So I think things are getting
The
much
young
better.
generation are
The
changing.
younger generation.
Yeah, it's not all as bad as
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
It's all doom and gloom.
The younger lot are normally much better.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, it's not about hating on black men, but the government recognise it too and want to spend a lot of money on cohesion.
Yo, whoever this
Okay.
is, don't like Blackburns. Are you sure you've not got a phone under the table? Are you texting this as well?
I'm just telling you the reality of what's happening on the
Hey?
ground, bro.
You're texting this. ain't you? I can see there's a phone in
I
there.
can't see his other hand.
What's going on now? It's all
I
going
don't know
on.
what he's doing now. Producer, come on, man.
But yeah, like
Very
I
lucky
say,
minutes left anyway.
this kind of what we're talking about in Blackburn is happening in Dewsbury, in Batley, in Preston,
Asian areas.
all that northern area. A lot of them must still have this system.
So basically, it's your lot's gang. Your gang's just shot the plot.
Not my lot.
Eh?
So
What's your lot? Oh, you think you're
Patans.
Afghani, innit?
Patans. Not think.
Oh, that village on the outskirts don't count.
Until the village mentality of South Asian is eradicated, trust me, we can't change the status quo. He's right.
Hassan's not going to sleep.
Also, he says, a lot of my African Caribbean Muslim friends are never fully welcome in many masajid. They're treated so badly, it is disgusting.
It is true. You know, I've made an issue of, like, people think I'm weird because I'll go up to everyone. Salam alaikum. I literally give salams to every single
why not?
person I see.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, that's
I'm
the
making,
sunnah. That's the
when I
sunnah.
was in Hajj, them lot thought I was mad. I was going up to every single person on the planet, just chatting to everyone because I was buzzing off it. It was beautiful.
And
MashaAllah.
that's where Malcolm X realised.
Whereas when you
on.
see the tents, they're all in their little gangs, their little culture gangs, tribal gangs.
No, but to be fair, they say birds flock together. Yeah.
What are you bringing birds into it for?
No, there's a term in it. What's the phrase? Yeah, just-
You've ruined it now.
Yeah.
Birds of a
Everybody's
feather
right.
flock together. Or
yeah.
something like
So
that.
you
What
tend to
did you
be
do that
inclined
for?
towards your own kind of.
I don't have a kind. You do then.
Most people, like Arabs, you'll see they want to chill together because
You
they
had a
like
bad
snow.
experience in Blackburn.
Yeah, well, obviously I've had.
Eh?
Why, they call you Blackie or something?
No, I went to a shop. I'll tell you what happened to me.
You went to a shop,
A shop, an Islamic shop
yeah,
in Blackburn.
and you got dashed out.
Nearly, yeah. Just listen to the story. So I go to him. He had these. You know how you get these, like a sandal of the Prophet, peace be upon him.
I don't know what that is, but I've
yeah.
seen
So
it.
what?
I've seen
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
like
yeah,
a
yeah.
I've seen
picture.
it. I've
Yeah,
seen it.
So I go, do you have a proper sandal, not a picture? So he goes, what are you going to do with the sandal? The guy goes to me. I go, I don't know. I don't know if it's whether you can wear it. I'm a bit illiterate on this subject. So whether you can wear it, would it be good? He goes, brother, you can't wear the sandal of the Prophet, peace be upon him. That's disrespectful. He goes, you don't seem you look from here, familiar from here. He probably suffered from my accent. I go, yeah, I'm from down south, from Leicester. He goes, it seems that you're following a certain scholars, and he mentioned a few scholars, and he goes, to me, these scholars are kafir.
Oh,
Straight up, he goes to me.
What?
Yeah, he just said straight up.
shouldn't do that.
Yeah?
Takfir,
So I go
blanket
to-
takfir.
Then I go to brother. He goes, I go, brother. You know, you're speaking bad about Muslim scholars. He goes, bro, this is my jihad. He goes, this is my jihad. Yeah, his mate was just looking at him thinking, what an idiot. Yeah? I go, brother, you need to do jihad on your nafs. Your anger's taking over with you. So that's what happened.
But again, that's lack of education from within the mosque
Little
system,
groups,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, like
groups.
I said,
Because you think you're taught from your parents.
your parents.
Your
and-
parents are to blame for it. It's as simple as that. Your parents are to blame
and for
for
this individual, certain scholars who he may be listening to, they are far right scholars out there who breed this hatred, unfortunately. So that exists as
And
well.
there's a lot of them, isn't there?
Yeah, they are. They use it for their own advantage.
Sahida says, Salda, we are living in the times where madrasa are looking more like business. Charities are not real charities anymore.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, that's what I said earlier. I said they're becoming more businesses than masjids. You know what I mean?
Even
Just
these,
the Blackburn one where they're charging people to go in.
a charity debate I don't want to get into, but even that's
Yeah, I'm not getting
you know,
into it. Do you know what? You know, joking aside, that's why I like what Hassan does when he does it, because he gets you the receipts, everything. He just small thing. There's no cost for no one. It's nice. I like that.
Yeah. So that, unfortunately, that's another debate as well.
So what's the solution, Bob? What's the
Education.
If
And
we all-
intermarriages, I told you.
I
Two
personally
things,
don't
education
think-
and intermarriages.
I personally don't think there is a solution. It's never going to happen.
Education and intermarriages.
Unless everyone ends
Does
up
it?
my colour.
What?
Unless everyone ends up my colour, complete mix of everything. How can I
Well,
be
that's
racist?
what the future's going to be.
How can I be racist? You know what I mean?
He says, hush you up, don't bait me up. You've done it already.
You like certain masjid, like East London Masjid in London.
Yeah. But London's different though, eh?
Yeah, London's just a
Like
melting
it's
pot. Of
it's
everything.
like it's a
And
different entity.
That's the
altogether.
good thing about
Is
it.
that the masjid where Sheikh, what's his name, who's recently had cancer, has got cured from cancer? What's his name?
Sheikh Haytham.
Haytham. Is that his masjid you're talking about? Because that's quite multicultural.
Yeah, he does do khutbahs there. So, okay, we got another
Go on,
show
you read
really. I think we need to promote more black awareness in our communities. A black revert would find more difficulty marrying an Asian than a white revert. Colonial mentality needs to be eradicated. There's some awesome black imams in this.
Imam Siraj Wahaj.
Yeah, Imam Siraj Wahaj. How many masajids would welcome him? That's true.
He's quite famous though. I think a lot of them were.
I actually don't even know who.
Oh,
I don't watch any.
yeah, he back in the 90s. He was on it. Yeah,
he was.
Do you think some of the scholars when they talk they're a bit? Because you get some that shout, but I can't listen to them. Bro.
Yeah, they got
I
their
tell you
own
the truth,
style.
I like
he
calm,
was,
chill people.
Yeah, he was a shouting one, but he's got his own style.
Yeah, that's
Some more messages here, lads. Watching from Zambia, mashallah. Some very valid points about discrimination in masjids. It's a mentality issue and unfortunately won't change unless there's a drastic change in education from childhood.
Talking about Zambia, I know about Malawi. I don't know about Zambia, but in Malawi, when they used to have the iftar, the blacks would do iftar separately to the Asians.
Get
What?
out,
I'm
shut
not
up,
joking.
having that, get
I don't know
out.
if that
That's
exists
not
now,
apartheid.
but that's what used to happen, and that's from people who used to live there. They told me this.
Ain't it mad what we don't know?
Yeah.
We don't know this stuff.
You need to go Blackburn first, then go to.
Leave Blackburn alone. Come on, bro.
Shazeb says, peace and blessings, brothers. Slams, bro.
So, Assalamu alaikum, bro, man.
Oh my
Yes,
days.
Shezzy.
Oh my days.
Yeah, it's right.
Shezzy's racist to any other boxing club. You've just broke that
I just
speaker.
broke the microphone.
Can I just say that wasn't me? That was him. He
How's
just
that
broke
broke?
Yeah,
Bro, that broke because you got heavy hands.
put it in again.
Put it back. Look at you.
So yeah, unfortunately that it's still.
Let's mess with Shezzy.
Yeah,
do a
Imam
message.
Siraj. Back to Imam Siraj Wahaj. Yeah, we don't see many imams. Even Sheikh Khalid Yassin.
Do you wanna
Yeah,
read
brilliant.
The only time
read that
I seen them come into when universities used to or some charity event. Unfortunately, we masjids need to call these kind of imams.
Do you know
Okay.
who's a good one for that kind of stuff there? Is his name Mufti Mend?
Mufti
Menk.
Menk.
Meng.
He's coming to Leicester.
Do you know
He's coming to
what?
Leicester.
I like it. I
Yeah.
love the way he.
Yeah, mashallah.
You know,
He's
but
very
he'll be-
realistic,
But you know
pragmatic.
what's bad?
Yeah.
He'll be hated for the way he is.
No, he's got
No,
loads of
not
followers.
really.
He's
No,
a lot of
big.
people,
he'll have-
a lot of people respect
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, he's got his
Okay.
own.
Some,
I just find,
okay,
you
some
know,
schools
anyone,
of thought don't.
No, but I just find that anyone who's too
Outspoken.
nice.
Oh, too nice.
He's actually come to Mashoma. He's given a talk.
Okay, listen, last message because we've only got about a minute left.
You read it out.
No,
Jetsi
let's-
says the
let's
mosques in London are totally different as there are so many races and cultures in the capital. The elders may not have been so open-minded maybe 20 years ago. Defo are more welcoming now. I saw this when attending a mosque in East London when he went down for a wedding. Cool.
I missed all that. Hold on.
So
Okay, I'm going to extend it for a little 5 more minutes.
I think Jedsy's a bit bitter and all, isn't he?
He's from Bolton. What do you expect?
I don't know.
What's the sketch in Bolton, Jedsi?
What
He
is
told
this
us
here?
similar to Blackburn.
Similar, yeah,
yeah.
is it? Okay.
But I don't know about the charging of the masjid, but in
Yeah,
terms of racism or
As far
in
as I
terms
know,
of
they have the same system as well. Yeah.
wow.
So, and I know.
I think funny thing is, right, who was the last century, who was the most respected Muslim in the whole century?
So Muhammad Ali.
Muhammad Ali.
Yeah,
And he was black.
Ali, yeah.
Respected or
The most
respected,
respected.
just on show?
No, respected in
Because
general. Everybody loved him.
when I saw most of the people that came to his funeral, they didn't like him. They were against him back in the day.
What, Muhammad Ali?
Yeah, they're
The
just there
boxer?
Bro, listen.
Okay,
they're-
lads.
I'm talking about
they're
the
there just
Muslim.
for show.
I'm talking about the Muslim
We
community. I'm
got
talking,
13 seconds, lads.
They were
So
there just for show.
talking about the Muslim
Jazakallah khairan
community.
for all your input and
no,
all
he's
the
going to give us an
listeners.
extension. He's giving us an extension.
No,
5 more
no,
minutes.
we gotta
No,
go.
no,
We gotta go.
He's kicked
So
us out.
Jazakallah khairan.
He's kicked
for
us out. Hi,
joining us
assalamu
with this.
alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Viciously abused by